Just a quick demo on probably the less known tool in the Power Platform, and that is Power Virtual Agents. It is a little bit different from the other three tools, Power BI, Power Automate, and Power Apps, in that it's just a little bit more expensive. So you have to pay, I believe the price at the minute is, I think there's an offer on, it's €200, and that gets you 2,000 sessions, and that's a monthly charge. So if you are a very large organization or a very large business, or just a large business that deals with customers a lot through their website, this may be a good option for you in terms of you can include your lots of frequently asked questions into your bot, and you could save yourself some money on payroll. The bots are extremely useful when they are set up correctly and when they have all the information that they need to have. And what's also really cool is that they don't only need to be used externally for communicating with customers on your website. They are extremely useful internally, and we'll go through an example of that in a minute, of how they can be utilized internally. Just some examples would be, you could have your IT help desk support. So any common simple problems that may happen with IT, the first line of communication could be done through the bot, and then a Power Automate flow could then be set up from there to, if it's something the bot obviously can't handle. Obviously a bot can't fix a laptop, but if it is something that can't be handled by the bot, then you can just say that you'd like to be passed on to IT, and that could be an automatic email to IT. Then it could be very, very useful for employee onboarding, and that's an example we're going to walk through in a minute. And it could also be very useful for any knowledge and learning. So if you have any courses within your company's website or SharePoint, or if you have a deal with LinkedIn for LinkedIn Learning, and some employees want to access some of those courses, it can be very useful to send them in the right direction for that. So what we're going to walk through really quickly, this is Power Virtual Agents, and this is the home page. And if I click into one of the bots that I've created, this is how it would look if you pin it onto a website, and this is where you can test a bot. But before we test it, I'm going to look at topics, and this is where you set up the bot. And a topic is essentially a topic. So what kind of things does your bot, what do you expect people to write into your bot? So one of them might be hours, and this is just a really simple one that I set up, and it's just to give an idea of how it looks. So if a customer types in, hours, closed, open, what are your hours? Then the bot will then ask them, okay, we have 2 offices. So let's just test it out here. So let's just say, what are your hours? So the bot will automatically ask, okay, which office do you want the hours for? And let's say we want the office hours for Dublin. It will then give them, and it will give a link to the website as well. Obviously totally customizable. If you don't want to put that in, you don't have to. And then if it says, let's just say that answered your question, you can then review the bot. And what the beauty about this is, it's going to take a while to load if I click into it. So I'm not going to click into it, but in the analytics section, that is a pre-populated Power BI report that is created for you, and it basically analyzes your bot. So sees how your bot is performing and how accurate it is based off questions that the users will have for it, and then obviously you can use that analysis to then improve your bot. Come in here into where you edit your bot. Okay, I need to add in a couple of more topics or a couple of more options. So extremely useful. And if you are a business that does have a lot of traction on their website, you do have that option here for 24/7 customer support. You could also use it for product recommendations based off the user's questions, and to be honest, you could even use it for appointment scheduling and reservations. You can do a lot with these bots, and they are very useful. So if we go then to how would you use them internally? So let's jump over to Teams, and in here I'm going to search for an employee onboarding bot that I created. Now there's a couple of steps to be done here. First of all, if I go back to here, and if I go to the apps, and if I go into Power Virtual Agents, you need to create your bot. If it's going to be internally within Teams, you need to create it in here rather than on the Power Virtual Agents page. It looks exactly the same. So you would come in here and you can click Start Now, and then you can view your bots in here. In terms of how do they pop up in Teams, you then need to publish them for approval to your admin, and whenever he approves or he or she approves the bot, then it will show up as an app within Teams. So let's just see how it works here. So this is an employee onboarding one I've set up for fine-tuning analysis. So just type in hello, it asks for your name, so put in the name. Oh, I shouldn't have put that slash in, but it doesn't matter. So you can see here, it picks up the name straight away. I'll also ask, okay, what department are you in? So let's say I'm in the finance department. So it says, the finance team is very excited to work with you. Here is a link to some documentation to help your onboarding with the finance team. That will then take you to the finance SharePoint folder with some in the employee onboarding folder. If we go back to Teams, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Did that answer your question? And let's say it did. So yes. And then please rate 1 versus 5 best. Again, you can use this information to improve your bot going forward. So it can really be used for a lot of reasons internally. It could also be used just simply to locate files, especially for, again, new hires. Whenever you join a new company, sometimes it can be overwhelming and there is a huge amount of information to take in within a small period of time, and there's only so much notes you can take, and it's very easy to miss something. So if something is missed and your manager is busy and you can't seem to get a hold of someone within the finance team to locate, let's say, the month-end folder, then a simple bot like this would save the hassle of, trying to look countless, sometimes maybe even hours, looking through folders for files. Again, of course, it needs to be set up correctly from the start, but it's very simple and very easy to set up these bots, and hopefully this shows how useful they can be both internally and externally.